Welcome to the Self-Care Show with Deidre Sanford. Although holistic and alternative healing methods are becoming more and more mainstream, what method is right for you? How do you find a practitioner once you've chosen to explore an alternative therapy? Each week, Deidre will explore a different modality with practitioners who will explain their modality and the benefits they and their clients have received through their sessions. She and her guests may also offer live readings during the show. Now, your host of the Self-Care Show, Deidre Sanford.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Happy Self-Care Wednesday. Wow. Hey, Sherry, good morning. Bee's back with us today. And Courtney, as always, is going to be one more shining light with our show today. Thank you, everybody, for logging in and letting me know that you're here with us already. I can tell by the fact that the three of you are already in and commenting, and I know there are more of you out there, that everyone is as excited as I am to have a chat with Torunn today. So amazing. Such a beautiful soul. So before we jump in here, there are a couple of things to talk about. Thank you, my friend. It's so nice to see you, Sherry. A couple of things to talk about. One is we got to jump in here because Torunn's amazing. Two, community and what it means, because I think it means something just a little bit different to all of us. But it's so, so important. And the more I meet new people, so many different experiences and abilities, opportunities to do that recently. The more I meet new people, the more I come to even more better understand just how important community is. So when you get the opportunity to reach out, to bring new people into your world, when you have the opportunity to meet new like-minded people, grab a hold of that opportunity and hold on to it dearly, because it is so, so, so special. It's so enriching for everyone when we have that opportunity. Torunn is one of those people who has helped me to come to have a new understanding of the word community. She's coming in to join our show today from Norway. Good morning, Luana. I am floored in a very good way that Torunn is willing and able to join us. And from what I understand, as she's been telling me this morning backstage, she's just as honored to be here as I am to have her be able to come and join the show. So keep reaching out, keep sending those messages, keep jumping in group chats, get to know people, expand your world, because what you find is there are people who think like you, especially in the kinds of things that we all talk about here on WLTKDB, Todd's amazing and fabulous paranormal platform for all of us. 20 shows we're running right now on this platform, and everyone has something different to offer. And your comments in the chats when you join live are so valuable and bring so much energy, so many different new perspectives to our show. I love seeing you all show up. Some of you week after week, some of you are absolutely brand new, and I'm so excited that you're all here. So please, the reason the chat is here is so that you guys can share your thoughts, ask your questions, get answers from our guests. And this week, that guest happens to be the amazing and wonderful Torunn Anthonsen. Torunn, come in here and join us and show us your beautiful face. Good morning again.
Good morning. So nice to see you. And thank you so much for inviting me today.
I'm so
grateful.
So pleased that you're able to join us. Good morning, Tim. Some of the viewers who are already logged in, Sophia, good morning. And Shelly, hi. Shelly was another who was with us in Tampa in December. So I'm thrilled to see that she's able to come join us this morning. Some folks are here regularly. Some folks are tuning in this morning specifically to see you. And I'm so, so excited.
Oh, and I remember Sherry very well. And we had a great week in Florida in December. So nice to meet you all. And having this opportunity to speak about healing in your community is amazing. So thank you.
I was thinking this morning about, Angela, good morning. I was thinking this morning about the United States and how open it is or is not to alternative healing modalities. Certifications, I got my root cause therapy certification through Australia at a center that focused on addiction and mental health. So popular, so much more well accepted in countries and areas outside the US. Why do you think it is that other countries are so much more open to these other modalities or other healing things, and the US is not?
I don't think Norway has been that open. When I started 22 years ago, as a full-time healer, it was not very accepted. But it's strange, when you work with something you love and enjoy, it's like things comes easy to you. And so I felt very lucky. Doctors come and wanted to work with me,
Yeah.
psychologists, companies wanted healing in the company for the employments, and it's been very easy. And the last years, it's changed more. It's more open.
Yeah.
Also because we have had some scientific studies on healing, and I've been lucky to be the healer in both of them. So I think it's the time now. Everything changed. And the last year, I also was invited to work in a center for doctors, cancer doctors, and ordinary doctors. So I'm a part of that center now. So it's like I meet doctors who are very open for this, and they want ordinary medicine and also healing. So I think I love that we can build a bridge between those two worlds.
Yes.
That's my goal in life, really, to build the bridge between us.
It sounds as though you're well on your way and you're more than halfway across the river between Western medicine or just medicine and bringing in your style of healing and complementary services as well. And much applause to you for being able to make inroads and to be able to work hand in hand with physicians.
I think we need that. We need
Yeah.
both of them. And I think back in time, maybe some healers in Norway felt they didn't really want to cooperate with the doctors.
Mhm.
It was like they choose healing or medicine, but
Yeah.
it's changing. So it's beautiful to see. And many doctors has also joined my healing courses
Yeah.
and my healing school and nurses. So it's really nice that so many nurses also want to do healing as work.
Yes. Well, and I think so many nurses are natural healers and they're drawn to that as a career because it's an innate part of themselves
Yes.
and come to realize more and more about themselves and their own abilities in this work through doing work in that smaller box, as I kind of describe it when they're working with the medical field alone.
Yes, and many of the doctors too, because
Yes.
they have been so close to many patients, and I think they have developed their own natural gifts. Maybe they haven't been that aware of it, but they have a really good intuition, and they very often know what's wrong before the blood test can show them.
I love
But we
that.
also have doctors who are not that open in Norway too. But yeah,
Of course. I love that you've been able to make those inroads and open those doors and help others to expand their minds and to incorporate outside modalities from what we consider to be medicine by specific definition. I always just call it Western medicine, and perhaps in the context of our conversation today, that's not very fair.
yeah.
I kind of threw that question at you as a curveball. It's not something that we had talked about, but it was on my mind this morning. Thank you for being open to having that conversation. I love that you have created that opportunity for yourself and for others. All right. It's wonderful. Thank you so much.
I think when we let spirit guide us, things like that happen. But I have been afraid many times to stand for my beliefs.
Yeah.
But when you do that, when you trust spirit, it's amazing what they can help you with. So I think we just have to listen and just do it.
Yeah.
Not hold back.
Feel the fear and do it anyway, right?
Yes, jump with both feet.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I love it. So, Torunn, obviously, from the things that we've talked about in writing the description for the show, you are a healer. But how did you know that you're a healer and meant to do this work?
It was quite a long process because my mom, she was a very strong healer, the strongest healer I ever met. And but she didn't talk about it. She just used it in the family. So for me, it was really natural. It was nothing exciting about that. And I think I was around in my 20s before I understood that not all moms did healing because we didn't use the word healing. She just held her hands on us and her hands become warm and the pain disappeared. So I was surprised that not all mom did that. But I was more drawn to, I didn't have a lot of self-confidence in my natural gifts. And I was drawn to readings and mediumship because I needed a lot of proof. My spirit guide, they didn't choose the easiest one to work with because I need a lot of proof. So I think I was in my beginning of my 30s when I understood that they wanted me to use my healing abilities. Everything I did, they started to activate the healing in my hands.
Mhm.
So it was a process, and it took me some years before I had the name healer on my door, on my clinic.
Well,
Yes.
thank goodness you do.
So it's been a process, but I must say it's been quite easy because the client just came and it's been fully booked for all those years, long waiting lists, and yeah, it's like I didn't had a choice in a way. Uh, and I was afraid I wasn't good enough, but people came back with the children and friends, and it just continued. And then the doctors asked me if I wanted to join the study on healing, and for me that was a good thing because then I could have a lot of proof because it was a big study, the first one, and yeah, and I need a lot of proof. I'd still like to have proof, but I don't need them as much anymore. So it was a process, really. And in my family, we have had quite strong natural gifts on my mother's side, but none of them talked about it, and some of them were afraid about it when I saw something. And so I was the first one in my family who stood up for my yeah. And I think also my family was a bit worried when I did that because I used to work as a financial advisor and had a quite good job, and I just quit and started as a healer. And many of them tried to stop me at that time, but after a while they were really happy that I followed my heart.
It's hard to step out and present to the world this person that you know you are when you come from a different sort of career. Very dynamic change for you from
Yes.
your old career to this one. And I'm not that surprised to hear, and I was going to ask you, thank you for sharing with us, that you did have some resistance from within your family when you stepped forward and became public. I'm so happy to hear that they've been able to shift gears and become supporters of yours.
Me too. I'm really happy.
Wonderful.
It means a lot to have support
No.
from the family. And
Yeah.
it wasn't always so easy for my daughters either, because when they were teenagers and in school, it was not always so fun to have a mom that worked as a healer and psychic medium.
Yeah.
But they're quite proud of that too. So it's nice to have the support from the family, but it's not easy for the family always, because when you have work like that, yeah, not everyone understand that kind of work.
But you're bringing that understanding to so many people in new ways. And the ability to, or the opportunities to work with physicians to participate in the scientific research and those studies to bring the fact or the truth of what you do forward through the results of those scientific studies is amazing. Look at how many people you've had come through your school that wouldn't have otherwise learned how to facilitate the healing work that you're able to facilitate. The inroads that you're making. We need more people like you who stand up in front. And I'm so, so, so glad that you made the decision to take the risk and leap out in faith.
Oh, thank you. And I must say, when I do that, it's easier also for my student to do that.
Yeah.
And the students from my healing school, I'm so proud of them. And many of them now have big articles about them. They have started clinics, and I think they have a lot of knowledge, and they're quite brave. Some of them started the healing school, and no one in the family knew about that. And after they finished, they started a clinic. So they'd be quite brave. So it helps if someone do it first, and the rest will follow. So,
You're a torch bearer and lighting the way for the rest of us. I think it's beautiful. Thank you for what you do.
it's a pleasure, really, when I see that it helps. But it's been hard sometimes, to be honest, but it's
Sure.
not anymore. No, it's just fun to talk about what my passion is. And so it's behind me, the fear. It's not there anymore.
I love that for you. The growth is beautiful. So when you first started on the healing path, what kind of healing work were you doing?
I started with Reiki healing
Yeah.
because I felt maybe that felt more. It was a system, and yes, but my healing guides, they wanted me to be more open for intuitive spiritual healing. They needed me to just follow where they wanted me, and needed me to hold the energy for them so they could work. So I really like Reiki healing. It's a beautiful form of healing. But for me, they wanted me to work in another way. So it changed after a few years.
So when you started doing the Reiki work, were you already aware that you had healing guides that you were working with, or is that something that opened through the Reiki?
Yes, I didn't have the self-confidence that I had these gifts, and I didn't see any healing guides, no guides at all. So, no one.
So as
But
you
it
said,
was a beautiful experience to join that course. Yeah, I think it was a good start.
so I love that you started from Reiki. We've many of us have often called Reiki the gateway to the healing world and the gateway to learning more about ourselves as well. What was that like for you when you first began to experience your healing guides?
Everything changed after I understood that I have healing guides, and that we could cooperate, and they needed me as much as I need them to help the client. And when I started to get to know more of them, and how I could help them, and everything changed, expand, really. It was a big change. More things started to happening during the healing sessions. So
Like,
that's why I really teach quite a lot about how they can connect my students with the healing guides, because you don't need to see or feel or focus on your spirit healing guides. But for me, it has helped a lot.
so you said you have more than one. Let's talk a little bit, if you will, about connecting with our spirit guides. How do we know that they're there? It's probably different for everyone, but what do
Yes.
you find is common for most people?
I know that some of the best healers in the world never has seen their own healing guides, so we don't need to see them. Just trust that they are there. Some of my students see them very clearly. I usually do exercises with my students so they can connect more, and it's practicing really. For me, I saw one of my healing guides clearly just once.
Yeah.
Usually I just see it in my mind or just feel them, feel the energy, and get the feeling that it's a woman or if it's a man and what they help me with. But many years ago, I think it's maybe 12 years ago, on the other side of the healing table, when I did a healing session, it was a Japanese surgeon standing on the other side of the healing table. And that's the only time I have seen that man clearly. But after he showed me, I think maybe it cost him a lot of energy to show himself that clearly. But for me, that need proofs. I had to see him once. If not, I wouldn't believe him.
Yes, then he becomes
After that, I can just invite him in. And if it's something he can help with, he will always come. Sometimes I think the different guides you need for the different clients will join when you do a healing session. And it's always at least 3 healing guides working around me, but sometimes it's 6. And it's really interesting because some of my clients, when they receive healing, they see many of them see the healing guides working around me, and very often they see them under the roof. And when we start the healing, they're coming down, and they see a light around my face and out of my hands. And many of them see them around me. Also, some of my clients see angels. So I think we also have quite a lot of help from the angels.
Yeah.
So for us, maybe we think an angel need to look in a special way with wings, but I don't think always they look the way we think they look. But maybe they show themselves so we can understand that it's a really a light, loving energy. But I have seen angels not many times. The first time I saw angels, it was after an operation when everything went wrong. And I was between, what you call it when you are between life and death. I was
Near
not,
death,
I
like a
was
near
not,
death experience.
yes, I was not able to go back into my body. And I could see the doctors and my boyfriend was sitting next to me crying. And it lasted for 12 hours. And I was really, really sick. And I could touch my body, but I just went up again. And after 12 hours, 6 light beings, as I think is angels, they were very tall and they were bright lights. And I could see the hands, 3 on each side of my body, and they sent light into my body. And then I could just go back into my body, open my eyes, I could drink water and eat biscuits, and no one understood anything. And I tried to speak with the nurses about that, but they just said, your brain's been. But
Medication.
yes, but after a few years, I went to Arthur Findlay College in England, a spiritual school, and a famous medium, Mavis Petilla. I was lucky to have a reading with her, and she told me about the angels really worked with saving my life from the other side after the operation. And it was really good for me to hear that from someone else that could confirm my own experience. So I have seen angels. They were beautiful, but I don't see them very often, but I feel them. It's a special angelic energy, very clear.
I would think that's a very light feeling when
Yes.
that surrounds you.
Yes.
Courtney is asking if the guides ever flash in like lightning.
Yes, and very often I like to experiment with filming healing sessions, and very often you can see flashing lights
Yeah.
in the video and bright lights. And for you healers out there, you should try to film when you do healing, self-healing, and when you do healing with others. It's really a good way for your healing guides to show up and
Love
give
it.
you some proof if you need that.
I think we all need that.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So we all have healing guides,
Yes.
correct?
And I
And
think, yeah, and I think when you choose to do healing work,
Mhm.
they come in.
okay.
And if you choose to do mediumship work, other guys comes in. So, and if you practice healing and have done that for a while, then also new healing guides will come in and you will develop more. It's like new teachers. So if you choose to do healing, just send the intention out from your heart, and then your healing guide will appear.
That's beautiful. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. So we do all have healing guides. When we talk about spirit guides, some of us talk about our mediumship guides who we work with, etc. Some of us have learned to work with our spirit guides. And I was surprised to learn at one point that some of our guides have very specific roles that they stay in. And if you have a different need, another guide will appear. I was
That's
very
amazing.
surprised.
I love that.
I just look at the spirit guides, right? They're supposed to be all knowing and be able to help you with anything and everything. And then I had to learn that we have specialty guides. For
Yes,
the
and I
different things that
also,
we do.
yeah, and I think we also can invite someone like, for example, when I do healing, I also like to invite, for example, Harry Edwards. He was an amazing healer from England, and he had many thousand people in his sessions. So if you want to read about him, it's a lot on YouTube and everywhere. But I very often also invite him in, and he never worked alone. He was at least, he had 3 healers with him when he gave healing, and sometimes 45 healers. So when I invite him in, I can feel a change in the energy. So I always invite my healing guides, angels, and yeah, but sometimes also invite healers who really have been great healers on earth. And we also have a Norwegian healer. I think he died 1 or 2 years ago. I usually invite him too. He's amazing with animals, for example.
Ooh, that's wonderful. Shelley's asking for his name again.
The Norwegian one or the English one is Harry Edwards. Harry Edwards.
Harry Edwards.
Yeah,
Lovely.
it's amazing to read about him. Many books about him.
Terrific.
And
Shelley, I
then
think that answers your question. At least I hope it does. If not, let us know and we can revisit.
Yes.
Fabulous. While we're waiting for confirmation from Shelley and while we're all digesting all of this, yes, that answers Shelley's question. Thank you, Torunn. While we're all digesting all of the information that you've shared with us so far, we're going to take a super quick break. Just a quick station break. You are watching The Self-Care Show. I am your host, Deidre Sanford. My guest today is Torunn Anthonsen, and we will be right back right here on WLTK DB.
Come see our new station shop for some amazing top quality merchandise. There is something for everyone, like blankets, electronics, clothing, and much more. Head on over to WLTKDB.com and click shop to show your support by sporting our logo. The WLTKDB Station Shop at WLTKDB.com. Paranormal talk is our business. and business is good.
And we're back. Thank you so much for sticking around to hear more about healing, healing guides, healing angels. And we're chatting with Torunn Anthonsen, healer, certified psychic medium. And you are also a certified master teacher. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm
Wonderful.
lucky because Lisa Williams has been an amazing mentor and
Yes.
teacher and friend. So
And I think you're going to be her featured person this month in the Lisa Williams student community, correct?
tomorrow,
Tomorrow.
yeah.
I didn't remember it was tomorrow, but I remembered it was coming up. So those of you who are in the Lisa Williams student community, be sure to pop in tomorrow and catch Torunn live on that Facebook page as well.
That would be nice if they want to join us.
Well, I know Shelly's going to kind of pop over there if she at all can break free to get in there. There are a couple of folks over here that I know are already connected to that group. We had some new folks join us as well. I know Jamie Lynn is here already today. Thank you, Jamie Lynn, for coming in to see us. We had Courtney in right at the top of the hour, and it's just always wonderful to have you guys join us. Yes, there is a lot of information to digest, and Torunn has been so very kind and generous in sharing this information with us. Torunn, you sent ahead by email some additional information, speaking of proof. Do you want to set that up for us before I bring that information into the show?
Yes, do you want me to speak about them?
Yes, please.
I need to think. I think it's around 12 years ago since some strange pictures started to appear on the iPhone. And at that time I didn't have an iPhone, but I think since that have had so many phones. But the pictures appeared in all the phones. But it had to be in the room at that time. And I thought it was something wrong with the phone because during healing sessions, the phone started to blink up with pictures in colors, mostly blue, the same color as I have behind me now. And I thought it was something wrong with the phone. And when we did film the healing sessions, it starts to come music on the film, classical music, very often cello. And I could not hear the music in the room, but when I listened to the video after, it was music in it. And sometimes also sounds from a hospital when I do operations.
Wow.
And it always happened, the pictures and the music happened when I did psychic surgery healing. So, and after a few weeks, I heard on the radio that Japanese surgeons back in time used classical music when they did an operation because they concentrated more and it was better for the patient.
You're giving me chills, Torunn. You're giving me chills.
And after I understood that, the music stopped. So, but the pictures always came during the psychic surgery sessions.
Mhm.
Sometimes it was one picture, sometimes it was 7 pictures. Sometimes the phone just turned off. And it was not possible to turn it on again. But after a while, it just started itself. And the picture was made for the phone and it was put on the camera roll. And if it wasn't enough place for the pictures there, they just removed some not important pictures from my camera.
Nice. So they deleted your pictures to add their own.
Yeah. And in the beginning, it started to come to my client's phone first. And if she didn't send it to me, they disappeared from her phone. After a while, they also started to appear in my phone. So they never stayed with her. And sometimes it also was a text when the phone turned off. And when it turned on again, it said, cooperate with us. psychic surgery will give results.
Wow.
And once it was like a video of light blue beings. And I asked, because I was thinking, okay, I can ask questions. And I asked them, who are you? And then 3 different videos started to appear with blue light beings. And I have a picture of one of them. I took another phone because they're not always on the camera roll after. Sometimes not. Sometimes they are. So it's not normal pictures
No.
in the pictures. And we
Mhm.
have experts going through them, and now they show up also when I need support.
Oh,
For
lovely.
example, the first time they come, it's usually during a healing session, but for example, when my mom died, in the
Mhm.
same second she passed, the angel picture blinked up on my phone. So for me, it was a good sign that she was with angels.
That's
And
beautiful.
that's my favorite picture. And
Sure.
I have seen it. It comes when I need it.
Yeah.
And it's often heart in the pictures, hearts, light
Yes. Heart.
hearts, and sometimes angels, and sometimes circles, blue circles of light, and sometimes it's faces in them. But they are love and support from my healing guides, and they also, in a way, it's their way to show that they're grateful for me cooperating with them.
I love this. I love this.
So,
And I can't wait to take the next step in this conversation. But I want to interject super quick because Todd, most of you know our producer Todd, um, has been and is, I guess, would be an appropriate way to say it, a paranormal investigator. So when we talk about paranormal investigator, for the most part, we talk about going to locations that are known to be haunted, that are known to have spirit activity. And Torunn, you probably already know about EVP, or electronic voice phenomenon.
yeah, I have been on courses
Okay,
many
perfect.
years ago, 1 week at Arte Finlay, when we learned about that, because I wanted to meet other people who
Yeah,
received these kind of pictures. That's why I
yeah.
went there. So we had a lot of stuff we tried, but I didn't find anyone who received pictures like this.
Well,
But
and we're
I'm
going to share those in a moment. You were kind enough to send them so that we could absolutely do that. I don't know, Courtney is chiming in saying, I want to see. So we're going to bring those up in a minute. But I wanted to talk real quick about the EVP aspect of the story that you told us, with the music that you couldn't hear when you were in the process of performing healing work or working with your team. But all of a sudden in the videos, the music was there.
yes,
And then to learn later that your healing guide, Chinese healing guide, often used classical music when he was working in his lifetime. To
yes.
know that those two things come together is so beautiful. And what an amazing confirmation for those of us who are into paranormal investigation and EVPs. It's so beautiful to hear how your experience with your healing work comes closely together in that aspect. Thank you. Oh, I hadn't heard that part of this before. That's amazing. Torn, I'm going to bring up some pictures now. There we go. That's the first one that you had sent in. I hope everybody who's watching us live can see this, and in replays, I'm going to do what I can to pop this in the chat too.
That's the one that also popped up when my mom died. And if you see around the wings and the head, is so much energy there.
So much energy coming right in across the top. It's just beautiful.
And it's very often just white light. Most of the pictures have white light in them, like a operation light. It's very
Yeah. The surgical light in the operating suite. Shall I go on to the next one?
yes. Very often we see them like in blue balls of light. Sometimes we see beings, light beings inside them, but you know, they are energy, so they don't always need to be. Very often I just see them like an energy ball, and I think they are not so big, because it's like the picture is already zoomed when they put it in my phone. So
I hear you.
Mm.
So they're shrinking the picture so that it fits the screen, would you say?
Mm. Yes.
Okay, beautiful. And this one, I can see the three, it looks like a bowling ball, a translucent bowling ball with the three holes in it because of the positioning is what it reminds me of, sorry. Because of the positioning of the three shafts of light as they come together or come out of that orb.
Yes.
And the opalescence of that, the shiny, like almost like a translucent pearl.
Yes. And it's often light on the top of the ball. Mm.
That's gorgeous. Oh, I'm so, so happy that we were able to share these with everyone who's tuned in today. And as you had mentioned when you were speaking, there's the heart that you say often appears in the pictures as well.
Yes, and this looks a bit different when I see it now, but it's symbols in some of the pictures. It's symbols, and this one is one with the symbols. Mm.
So wait, would you say that that top portion of the picture, it sort of looks like a heart with the ball sitting on the top of it. Does that also sort of resemble like a human figure as we may see it in some symbols?
I don't
Or a
know,
figure?
really. I think I haven't been thinking about it in that way, but maybe.
I know I looked at it differently this time. I've always seen the heart when I've looked at this picture,
Yeah.
and now I'm thinking that's like the shoulders, the neck, and the head, perhaps, of a figure, of a being.
And they also told me that it's so much healing in those pictures. So in an elderly home in my city, they have big pictures of this on the wall. And the
Beautiful.
people who live there, they start to cry when they see that, and they feel so much healing. So and my healing guides really want me to share the pictures. So that's why I do it.
It's gorgeous. Courtney says to her, it looks like someone standing at a table healing with hands together.
Oh, beautiful.
It's fun how we have different interpretations of this just
I,
amazing piece
I
of art.
think we see it the way we need. They want us to see it.
I love it. Let's move on to one more. I think there might be one more after this as well.
This is the three healing guides that always work with me. And you see the head are just light. And the one on the right side is a lady who helps me when people need to work with anxiety and things with the mind.
Lovely.
And one of them is a surgeon, and the one in the middle, he works with muscles and what you call it, tendons. Yes,
You got it.
yeah. And you see maybe that is a heart between them on the top, between two of them.
And that area
I
between.
like that. You see, they're just energy, just light beings. So they don't have a body like us.
That's beautiful. Let's see, that's a second picture of that one. And then one last picture that you were able to send as well.
Yes, and it's a heart in that one. Do you see that?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do. It looks like it's contained in a little bit of a bubble with the shading to the left.
Yes, and many of them have hearts in the bubble. Some of them are more clearly also than this, but when I see the heart, it's really I love to see the heart sign. I see heart sign very often when I need more help from them, or if it's something who's going to happen that day with a client that needs extra help. When I see heart sign, it don't need to be on a picture, but I could see them everywhere. They always bring extra help in for my clients. So yes, they're beautiful.
They are absolutely stunning to have an opportunity to see.
Yes, and we have many hundred pictures from them. This is just few.
I'd love to know. I liked hearing that in the place where they're hung, the patients who see the pictures are easy to relate. It's easy for them to relate to them, that they emanate energy from the picture. It sounds as though there's just actual healing to be had from having the opportunity to see the pictures. And it's amazing. I love that you've had the opportunity, and thank you very much for sharing this with us. They're gorgeous. I'm not real sure how to get out of this part. Here we go. I'm going to take that picture
Many
down.
healers, when they have seen the pictures, they say that when they give healing, they often see the blue light around them, but they don't see them on a picture, but they see them. Sometimes you see things when you do healing, and many healers see this blue light with the white inside. So for me, the blue light is really special. When I see the blue light, it's strong healing.
Love that you have that symbology that comes in, that you get to see and know for your own visual confirmation, not just your sense that they've arrived or the sense that you're all working together or they're working through you. But that blue light is I love that visualization for you, for the confirmation. As you say, you always need confirmation and proof. And there it is. That's so fabulous.
And it's more fun to work with this when you get some proof. I think everyone who wants to use your healing abilities, you will get results, and all of you can do healing. It's just you need to practice. But to get some proof is really nice too. It's easier to continue this work, but we don't really need them to be a good healer. But some of us maybe do. But and I think everyone can learn healing. It's not only just for you and me. It's for everyone to connect with this energy. But you need to have a right and good intention.
Yes. Well, and to your point, where you say everyone can do healing work. Stephanie popped in with us today, and she's talking about, I believe, your pictures, and she said it's beautiful. She says since her dad passed away 10 months ago, blue orbs have been showing up on her photos.
Wow.
Not only new pictures, but some old ones that were taken that were not there on her phone previously. She said, I believe it's angels, once the blue orb was in the shape of a heart.
Oh, that's beautiful. I feel really touched. Thank you, Stephanie, for sharing. I know this blue light is special, and it's signed from your dad and the angels.
I love that you guys were able to share your story, share your pictures, and Stephanie could share her story too of what's happened in her phone pictures, in her experience. It's wonderful. I know Todd has popped into the comments your website information. It's Torunn, T as in Tom, ORUNNANTHONSEN, and those are N's as in Nancy. Just wanted to make sure that we got that website information out for anyone who wants to reach out to you or to visit your website to learn more about who you are, what you do, and what other opportunities there may be by going through the website as well. There's information regarding your healing school there too.
And I also have a course in English if some of you want to learn more about this. And it's called The Healing Intelligence, and it's on the website.
Yay, I love that that's out there. Thank you for bringing that information forward as well. Torunn, it's as always just an absolute pleasure to spend time with you, to hear your stories, to hear some of your experiences. Is there another thought or another piece of information you might like to share with us today before we bring the show to a close?
I asked my healing guides before we started if it was some information for this group, and they told me that I had to talk about, if you want to get in touch with the healing intelligence quickly, you can just ground yourself and invite the white light from the universe to blend with you. And you can invite your healing guides in to stand in a circle around you and blend your light with them and ask them to give you one symbol that they can put in your hand. My symbol is a golden heart. They gave me a golden heart, and when I need to connect very easily or quick, I just think about that golden heart, and then I connect with them really fast. So they told me that I should tell you this and try to find out what's your symbol. We all have different symbols that are really strong, and it makes them it's easier for your healing guides to connect with you very quickly.
Thank you. Thank you again for delivering that message and for the confirmation that we all have the opportunity and the ability to connect with our own healing teams and with those realms that can bring us comfort and healing.
I'm so glad I was able to speak here today, and I hope all of you want to use your healing abilities, because the world needs a lot of healers.
Yeah.
And they just need you to be just do it from your heart and have a good intention, and they will do the rest. Just invite them in.
That's beautiful.
So thank you so much for inviting me today. I'm looking forward to see you again.
Oh, I hope so.
In our Norwegian membership for healers and psychics later on this year.
That would be beautiful. I love that idea. Torunn, thank you so much for coming and joining the show and sharing all of your beautiful energy and your amazing information and stories with us today. Guys, you can go back and revisit on the replay of the show if you want to hear the information that Torunn's spirit guides brought to us through her today on connecting and getting your own symbol. Torunn, give us just a moment. I'm going to take a minute or so to close the show, but I do look forward to seeing you backstage if you have the time to visit with us for a few moments.
Thank you.
Thank you. Guys, it's always such a pleasure to see all of you today. I love and appreciate seeing your new faces. Shelley, thank you for joining us today. Courtney, it's always so much fun to hear your contributions to the shows and to know that you're here listening and chatting with us as well. Stephanie, thank you for sharing your story about pictures and your blue orbs in your phone. It's amazing. Everyone else, Jamie Lynn, I know she's taken off for the day, but wow, just thanks everybody for continuing to come out and support the show. Candace, it's so much fun to see that you were able to get in and join us today. Sherry, Tim, Luana, Sophia, thank you all so much for joining us and lending your beautiful energy to our show today on WLTKDB. Just another quick note. I know many of you already are aware of this information. We mentioned earlier, there are 20 different shows on WLTKDB. Our producer, Todd, is amazing, and he wants to really, really, really make sure that we all have an opportunity to share our information, to share the information that our guests bring into our shows for every week, every show that we all do. Got a little station upgrade thing going on right now. We're having some computer aging situations. Todd, if you want to pop that link into the chat for us, there is a GoFundMe that's been set up. If you can not necessarily contribute on your own, because we know not everyone is in a place where that can be done right now, but simply sharing the link to continue to help support the station and keep all of the paranormal and metaphysical shows coming your way. There are at least 3 reading shows or 2 shows that are specific to readings. Other shows bring in readers, and we even do free readings here on this show from time to time. Many of us out here sharing information on everything paranormal. So come on back to the station. We love having you here. We love being able to be here for you. Jump on the bandwagon if you can. Thank you so much for joining the show today. Torunn, sending you so much love and wonderful energy back. Thank you for joining us today. This has been the Self-Care Show. I am Deidre Sanford, and you're watching us on WLTKDB.com.
The truth is here and now on WLTKDB Talk Radio at WLTKDB.com.